The Cadillac Escalade has been the epitome of American luxury, and in this 2023 model year, it continues. Today we're going to take a full, detailed, in-depth look of this 2023 Cadillac Escalade. Let's get into it. Now to start off with the exterior, this has the big, iconic design that you'd expect from Cadillac. And with the trim levels, you get the base luxury, premium luxury here, the sport, premium luxury platinum, sport platinum, and new for 2023 is the new V Series. Now right up front, you're going to get auto leveling headlights, standard with their iconic vertical light design. LED headlights will be standard on every trim. 22-inch wheels are also standard on all trims, but they're going to vary a little bit. And you have this very massive upright front end. I'd love to know what you think. The mirrors are going to be standard auto dimming on the driver's side, power folding with turn signals, and dimensionally our standard version's about 212 inches long, but you can get a longer version that's 227 inches long. And this one's going to come on our optional adaptive air ride suspension, which I'll show you the up and down ability a little bit later. Massive rear end, LED vertical taillights, and you can even get an optional catback exhaust if you want to upgrade from this one. Now for the cargo area, there's a couple different options. You can get the standard version or the ESV, which is gonna have more space behind the third row. All of these Escalades can give you the hands-free power liftgate, or you can just push that little hidden Cadillac emblem and you're good to go. Now coming to the back, when you open up the rear end, the vehicle will automatically lower down if you have the air ride suspension. So loading in here is a lot easier. You've got a couple of tie downs here. You've got a little cargo net hook right there. You can get a cargo cover on here as well. Underneath of this, you've got a little bit of extra storage. Underneath the vehicle, you get a full-size spare tire. Behind the third row, space is going to be better in the ESV version. This is still not bad at all. It's going to accommodate carry-on suitcases and backpacks and things. I'll put specs down below, but you can power fold these seats. It'll fold the headrest down. And apparently that seat's a little too far back, which is kind of annoying, gets in the way. If you're rolling with just two seats up, you've got a ton of space right here. And the other nice thing about this area is you get a 3-prong outlet over here. Plus you can power fold down those second row seats. Tons of overall space in here, as you can see, and this is actually fairly flat, even with these bucket seats. What do you think? Good space overall, very practical. Now a quick look at Cadillac's key fob. This keyless access is standard with the smart key. Remote start on here as well, open up your trunk, all good things like that. And I think it feels pretty nice as well. One option that you get here is when you open and unlock the vehicle, you can get these running boards with perimeter lighting. So at night, they actually have lighting that goes around the vehicle, which looks pretty nice. And the door handles light up too. The smart key system works like this. You've got this little rubber touchpad on the inside to unlock it. It's electronic. I'm not a fan of that. It's probably gonna wear out. Maybe it won't work someday. And to lock it, you can push that. Mirrors will power fold. Or let's say you don't wanna push the buttons, you got your hands full, shut the door and you just walk away. And with Cadillac, you've got this thing called passive lock, where it will automatically lock for you when you walk away. Now Cadillac also has this thing called the air ride suspension, and it can automatically lower the vehicle when you get in. So ingress and egress can be really easy. You've got a tall height and a normal height as well. Let me quickly go through those. Right now we are in normal height. Okay, now we are in the lowest setting for good loading and easy getting in and out. Now let's go to the tallest setting. Now we're in the tallest setting for the most amount of ground clearance, and when you go to off-road mode, it will automatically raise you up to this height. All right, now as we go ahead and hop into the front seats, this is what I'm talking about with the door handles. There's just this little rubber pad right there that you press. Sometimes on this door and other doors, if I press it to unlock it and open, it like locks again real quick to where it'll kind of just like catch right there and I can't open it. But another thing about this is that it has these soft closed doors. Just get it latched and then it will do the rest for you. But as we hop inside right here, there's some disappointment with these seats. So this is the premium luxury. It's not a high-end model or anything, but it's not a base model either. These are Mulan leather seats. Leather seats are not actually standard. You'll get on the base model a synthetic leather, which is a little disappointing for this price point, but this leather is very nice. The complaint here is that even on this premium luxury, we only have two-way lumbar in your basic adjustments. Pretty much every car with power seats has these adjustments, even if it's a fourth of the price. It has your height and your tilt. You can get 4-way lumbar, but this one doesn't have it. It's just kind of surprising. Not even any thigh extension, not bolster adjustments, nothing on a $107,000 price point. You know, I'm complaining about it, but I think that's rightfully so with this price point. You can get all those things on different trims. You can also get a lumbar massage on those upper trims too, but the seats still feel nice and they are fairly comfortable. The steering wheel is also power, tilt, and telescoping. That is standard on all trims. Also standard is the option for memory settings right here. Memory settings will be standard for your seats on all trims. Another thing is the headrest does not move forward and backwards here. It just goes up and down. So if it's not far enough forward or it's too far forward, you can't adjust it. And yes, these are speakers in the headrest with this awesome audio system. I did mention how the vehicle can lower and raise if you want it to. With the Air Ride, there's no grab handle here or grab handle over there. The good news is that these seats will be heated standard on all trims, and then from the Premium Luxury and up, you'll get ventilated seats as well. Now climbing into the second row here, you're gonna get some nicer soft materials on the door, a big armrest, and some storage down there, and the back seat will give you a grab handle to get in. You can get these bucket seats, these split buckets with an open middle, or you can get bench seats back here optional too. Which would you go for? These seats are leather wrapped and somewhat comfortable for being bucket seats. There's not a lot of contouring or bolstering to them though. Sitting behind myself, I'm 5'9". This is an example of how much foot space and knee space I have. Lots of knee space. I have this seat in the furthest back position, and there's just this massive open area right here in the middle, and you get these folding armrests. Standard, the back seat even gets their own climate controls, your own temperature controls. You even get heated seats back here, so that's nice to see. Plus, cup holders that pop out just like that. Just down there you get a couple of HDMI ports and USB-C charging ports, and you have a 3-prong outlet. One reason we have those HDMI ports is that we have the rear entertainment system. You can hook it up to Wi-Fi with the vehicle here. You can plug in HDMI, you've got Bluetooth headphones, get these 2 massive screens, and what's on TV today? Oh look, check it out. Air conditioning vents are overhead, which I personally like. I think it works well for kids in car seats too, and you even got more speakers overhead. Headroom is of course excellent in here. Like I said, I'm 5'9". Even with this panoramic roof, I still have a little bit of room above me, and these seats can recline, so this is actually pretty nice. Not bad at all. Third row access, obviously you can go through the middle with that big open area, but you can pull this lever down. Check that out. The seat actually like folds down into the floor, and you can pop that up, and you got this huge area to get into the third row. All right, now sitting here, obviously tons of legroom in the middle. That seat is further forward. There's a lot of knee space there. This one is further back, and I can still sit, you know, semi-comfortably, so you can accommodate third row passengers pretty well back here. Plus, we've got little cup holders here and USB-C port. Of course, the third row is going to get their own little air conditioning vents too. And one thing is that if you get the ESV, the longer version, you'll have a little bit more legroom in the third row. So keep that in mind. If that's important, you might want to go for that one, and then you'll still have more room behind the third row too. Now hopping into the interior of this Escalade, obviously you're going to have some flash and some flare and some nice materials, but also a mix of some not so impressive materials in here too. The platinum interior trim is going to give you the most leather wrapped interior, but that's not what we have right here. Now to start things up, foot on the brake, push button start right there, and you've got 1 screen, 2 screens, 3 screens up here that are all OLED screens. But first of all, let's go ahead and look over at the door. This little material up here is soft. You've got this kind of not so impressive wood looking trim inside of here. Not a big fan of that, but I'm sure other trims it's a little bit different. Massive soft armrest here as well, a big deep grab handle. These back windows are not automatic one touch. I was expecting that when you pay $107,000, but they credited you $50 because it's not. Upper trims will have that be automatic though. Down here you get a little bit of storage in the door, not a ton though. Then to the left you can actually adjust your 4-wheel drive, your ride height control, your drive modes, and you've got a trailer brake controller right there with an electronic parking brake. It's great to see a trailer brake controller integrated in here. This left OLED screen is a 7-inch screen. There's a few different things you can do on here. So you can change your trip computer stuff on there. You can also go through what shows up on this main display right there. So you can go to an augmented reality camera. When you're in navigation, you'll actually get signals on here increasing size depending on how close you are to your turn. That's pretty cool. Plus the night vision, which I'll show you in the night video, and then you can even adjust your head-up display. This screen right here is about a 14-inch OLED cluster, so you can have the gauges on here all the time if you want. You can change some of the information over there by using the touch screen, and then audio controls, phone controls, things like that in the middle. There is a tachometer in the bottom left right there. I wish this was a little bit more customizable and configurable, but it's mainly just what's on the left side of this display. Steering wheel is leather wrapped and heated, comfortable to hold on to. It doesn't have real big grips on here. I was expecting a little bit more. This just feels kind of like a Chevy steering wheel. I mean, there's not really anything too exciting about it, but it's still heated and comfortable. You also have this button right here. It's voice enhancement. You can push that. It will show up, or conversation enhancement, show up right there to where it magnifies your voice into the second and third row seats. So there's not going to be any more yelling for your kids in the back. This does also give you paddle shifters and rain sensing windshield wipers. Right up overhead, you also get a head-up display on everything except the base model. And this screen is interesting because this is curved. It's all just a big curved piece. 3 different curved OLED screens. You've got soft material up on the dash, even speaker grill up on the dash. Plus, this screen right here is a 16.9-inch curved OLED screen. You can touch it. You can control it with a control dial as well. You have shortcuts down there that you can also customize. You can somewhat customize what you have on here, but there really is a lot of different information on here. Even trailering control, you can control different settings on here. You've got Wi-Fi on here. A video recorder is something new for 2023. If you have an SD card, it will monitor and record motion around the vehicle. Could be a theft or a vandalism type of deterrent with that, or at least, being able to see different things. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly, but it doesn't take up the whole screen, so you kind of lose the whole 16-inch screen benefit. You've got shortcuts over there on the left. Now the camera on here is pretty awesome too. Go into reverse, you've got your basic overhead view and your backup camera, but you've got a bunch of different options that you can scroll through. So let's go to an angle here. Check it out. You can actually go through a whole bunch of different angles around your vehicle. So you should never really have a problem getting in your parking spot again. Even trailer camera or your hitch camera. Go back up with a front view. You can go to, let's look at the sides where you can see your wheels in the front or in the back. It's pretty awesome. This also has parking assistant to where it can help you parallel and perpendicular park. Now moving down, you're going to get a tri-zone climate control, dual zone up here. I love how all of these have buttons and controls, so you can easily control everything on there without a problem. Auto stop start button right here, lane keeping system, and a brake hold, plus the same shifter we've seen in other Cadillacs. And your command control right here to where you can control the main screen, have shortcuts for navigation, vehicle information, even music, volume button, home button. All the shortcuts are nice to see. There's also a wireless charging mat right there. I'm definitely a big fan of Cadillac's charging mats because they're always kind of out of sight, out of mind. So people hopefully aren't tempted to want to reach in and grab those. Massive armrest right here. A couple of good sized cup holders. This is much better than other Cadillacs and GMs where you can actually fit larger drinks without them being too skinny. Extra little cubby, a USB-A and USB-C right there. You can also cover this up with more of this wood trim. I don't think it looks very good in this $100,000+ vehicle. A couple more USB ports in there, a 12-volt power outlet, this little movable tray, and it's fairly deep. You can see we've got the headphones for the rear seat entertainment. Right up overhead, check it out, we've got this digital camera. So you can have this on everything but the base model. And I like keeping it in this. You can adjust the brightness, the zoom, all of that. Visors pop out and slide, so you got good coverage. Overhead, you've got LED interior lighting. You also have this massive panoramic roof, different controls to open up your lift gate right there, and to even fold your seats right here. Plus there's a garage opener. And this panoramic roof is pretty awesome. Goes back quite a ways. You don't have like a triple roof, but you've got this panoramic roof right here. One more thing, Cadillac gives you a little storage slot on each side. The passenger side gets a 12-volt power outlet. The glove box is a lockable glove box, which is nice, soft opening and softly lined. Now under the hood, Cadillac actually gives you 3 different options. New for 2023 is the new V-Series Escalade with a supercharged 6.2 liter V8. That's got 682 horsepower. Next thing is a 3-liter inline-6 Duramax turbo diesel. And then the one that we have right here is the direct injected 6.2-liter V8, 420 horse. The Escalade will come with rear-wheel drive standard or 4-wheel drive available. Miles per gallon's not that great, but what do you expect? Towing, on the other hand, is good with a big vehicle like this, a big engine. 2-wheel drive, or at least max towing with rear-wheel drive, is 8,200 pounds. All right, y'all, we're behind the wheel in this Escalade now for a quick test drive. This is not the V series with the super fast engine, but this is still the 6.2-liter V8, and it holds its own with acceleration. So first impression right off the bat. First of all, you can get Super Cruise on this trim, but it's optional and we don't have it. The base model doesn't even get adaptive cruise control. You have to have this trim or up, but the Super Cruise hands-free system is available, we just don't have it. Now, first impression, it feels like you're the king of the road in here. You sit up high, you've got good visibility, you've got a throaty big V8 in here, but it doesn't feel like you're driving a boat. I mean, this has the air ride suspension. You've got the air ride suspension, magnetic ride control, or their standard suspension, and I'm sure they're all fairly comfortable. This one is comfortable. You still feel some bumps. Obviously, you have big wheels on here, but I'm comfortable in here. It kind of floats over some stuff really well. Certain things permeate into the cabin a little more, but it's still quite comfortable to drive. The way the steering feels is also okay. For a big vehicle, you might expect something a little floaty. We'll get around some corners here in a second. One complaint I do have is that the brake on here feels very soft. I mean, you get some feedback from it, but I feel like I have to mash on it to get this thing to slow down. It's a big, heavy vehicle, and I've been driving quite a few different vehicles lately that are smaller, probably just not used to it yet. But 6.2-liter V8 coming in here. It sounds great. You've got a 10-speed transmission, which for the most part here has done a very nice job. Now I'm going to put us in sport mode. The button is right back here. I wish it was a little bit easier to get to. There's touring mode. Now we're in sport mode. And the steering's still a little bit soft, but in a big vehicle geared for comfort, not bad. This 10-speed has been very quick. See how quickly that was the downshift? You know, some vehicles, you gotta wait a good amount for it. And if you really want to get a fast, fun Escalade that's luxurious and fast and powerful, go for the V series. But I still love being able to hear that venerable 6.2-liter V8 from GM. It doesn't have a ton of power compared to what some luxury big SUVs have, but it's still a lot, over 400 horsepower. So there is another thing I want to complain about. One thing I want to make known, I'm going to go back into touring mode, or tour mode, at high speeds, like interstate speeds. I haven't noticed it so much lower speeds, but not pushing on the throttle. If I start to accelerate even a little bit, or just have a little bit of pressure at interstate speeds, I hear a whine, a hum. It's like there's definitely a little bit of a transmission whine in here. I don't know if it's just this one or what, but if you've noticed that in your Escalade, or you've seen that in other videos, which I haven't watched other videos, leave a comment down below, because I hope it's not a common problem to be able to hear that. It's kind of annoying. Okay, one thing to note, noise. Now, all Escalades are going to give you this laminated glass on the side. The back windows are not laminated on here, but upper trim levels will give you acoustic or active noise cancellation. This is already a fairly quiet vehicle. It's just as quiet as I would expect for an Escalade on a rough, crappy road surface like this, or at high interstate speeds. In fact, that's probably why I can hear that transmission hum so well, because it's actually really quiet in here. But it's probably even quieter on those upper trims. Now, ergonomic wise in here, these three screens look nice. They're easy to operate. I wish this was a little bit more configurable in here as far as where different things were, like different material and content were. But overall, it looks nice, it functions well. I love this control down here that you can use in addition to the touchscreen, and it's just a pleasant vehicle to drive. So to wrap things up on this 2023 Escalade, I would love to know your thoughts. I think Cadillac did a nice job giving you a big, comfortable, and luxurious vehicle with a lot of power, a lot of features. On this trim, there's some things that aren't quite as nice as I was expecting for still being over 100 grand, but it's still nice. You've got these really crazy screens, you've got comfortable seats, you've got a crazy audio system in here as well. There's a lot to like about it, and I would love to hear your thoughts down below. But subscribe for more videos just like this. Be sure to check out the night video, and have a great rest of your day.